Okay, let's dive in. Think about this. Getting a really top-tier education, an internationally respected degree, and potentially not paying a cent in tuition fees. That's the possibility our sources are highlighting today, specifically about studying in Germany.
Exactly. And we've gathered quite a bit of material here, guides, articles, expert views, even some data points, all looking at how you as an international student can actually get into a German public university.
Right. And our mission really for this deep dive is just to pull out the most critical bits from all that. What are the real steps, the absolute must-know requirements, and maybe some crucial tips, straight from the material to help cut through what seems like a pretty complex process.
Definitely. And the sources make a compelling argument for Germany in the first place. It keeps coming up as a top spot. You get degrees recognized everywhere, huge range of programs. And interestingly, a lot of them, really, a surprising number, are taught just in English. That's a massive advantage for many people.
Yeah, it's not just engineering or science, right? The data we looked at shows humanities, CS,
Mm.
business parim, they're really popular options too.
Yeah.
And the sources also point to um, good industry links there, suggesting maybe internships, job prospects down the line.
For sure. And alongside that, the potential for, well, manageable living costs. If you plan it right, the sources suggest it's doable.
But the real kicker, the thing that jumps out from pretty much every source.
The tuition fees, or lack thereof.
Exactly. It's not some tiny exception.
Hmm.
The figures suggest over 90% of public universities there basically have no tuition fees for international students.
That's the absolute game changer they focus on, access to world-class study without that huge financial wall.
Okay, so the potential is clear. But how do you actually start? What's the very first hurdle the sources mention?
Eligibility, that's foundational. Academically, you need to show your previous education. Say, your high school diploma is actually up to German standards. There are checks for that. And if you're aiming higher, like for a master's, then obviously you need an undergraduate degree that they recognize. That's non-negotiable.
Makes sense. And then there's the language piece. The sources seem to flag this pretty heavily.
Oh, absolutely. It's a key gatekeeper. If you're looking at an English top program, you'll typically need solid proof, like an IELTS score, maybe 6.5 or higher, or a TOEFL usually around 90 plus. For programs taught in German, well, then you're looking at specific German language certificates like test staff or DSH.
And I noticed something interesting even for the English programs. Some experts in the sources were saying, learn some German anyway.
Yes,
Yep.
strongly suggested. Maybe not for the course itself, but for, daily life. Getting around, shopping, just integrating. They often mention aiming for maybe a B1 level. It just makes everything smoother.
Okay. Academics, language.
Yeah.
What else? The sources talked about supporting documents, didn't they?
Right. This is where you kind of make your case personally. They really stress having a well-crafted statement of purpose, why you want to study this program in Germany, plus strong letters of recommendation from professors, maybe employers, and a good, clear CV highlighting what you've done.
And the experts seem to think these are pretty make or break.
Yeah, they can really differentiate you, especially for competitive programs. It's not just about the grades. It's about the whole picture you present.
Okay, so let's say you've got the qualifications, the language proof, the documents lined up. What's the actual process look like, according to the sources?
Well, it starts with research, a lot of research, using platforms like the DayEd, that's the German Academic Exchange Service, or digging through individual university websites to find the right fit, then meticulously getting all those documents ready. Translations, certifications, the whole package.
And the application itself. Is it always direct to the university?
Sometimes. But often, especially for international students, you might go through a system called UniAssist. Our sources explain it as a kind of central clearinghouse. They pre-check your international documents for multiple universities before passing them on. It standardizes things a bit, but it's an extra step, and sometimes there's a fee. You have to check for each specific university.
Got it. And then there's a big practical point. The sources definitely didn't gloss over money. Not for tuition, but for living.
Exactly. Proof of financial resources. You have to show you can actually support yourself while you're studying there. The figure mentioned consistently is around 11,208 euros per year, typically. And it needs to be in a special blocked account, a Sparkonto.
A blocked account.
Yeah, it's basically an account where the total amount is deposited up front, but you can only withdraw a fixed monthly sum. It's the German government's way to guarantee you have enough funds for your living expenses throughout the year.
Okay, that's a crucial detail. So, acceptance letter in hand, blocked account sorted.
Yeah.
What's the final step?
The visa. You apply for your student visa at the German embassy or consulate in your home country, and the sources give a big warning here. This can take time, sometimes months. So apply as soon as you get your acceptance. After that, it's the practicalities, finding accommodation, sorting out health insurance, booking travel.
You mentioned applying early for the visa. What other sort of pro tips kept coming up in the material?
Starting the whole process early was number one, like really early. Up to a year before you plan to start studying is often recommended. Also, double and triple checking the specific requirements for each university and each program. They aren't all the same, they can vary quite a bit.
Details matter.
Absolutely. Making sure every document is perfect, getting official certified translations if your originals aren't in German or English. Don't cut corners there. And applying to several universities, not just putting all your eggs in one basket. It just increases your odds.
That makes sense. And the experts also seem to reiterate the importance of a strong academic background, right? Especially for the more popular courses.
Definitely. Competitive programs will look very closely at your GPA or equivalent grades. We saw that example, didn't we, of the student needing a high percentage, like 85%, in their bachelor's to get into a specific TU Munich program. Excellence counts.
And again, not forgetting those personal elements, the statement of purpose, the recommendation letters. Some sources even mention potential interviews for certain programs.
That's right. It can be part of the selection process, too.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap the main things we pulled from these sources. We've talked about the clear upsides of Germany. Quality education, lots of program choices, those industry links, and the big one, often no tuition fees.
And the must-haves, the right academic qualifications recognized in Germany, proof of language skills, whether that's English tests like IELTS, TOEFL, or German ones like TestF, DSH, and those key supporting documents, your statement, letters, CV.
Then we walk through the actual steps, researching programs, applying, maybe via UniAssist, proving you have the living funds, the blocked account with roughly 11,208 euros, and finally, getting the student visa.
And layered onto that were the crucial tips. Start way ahead of time, check every detail for each uni, get documents perfect, apply widely, maybe learn some basic German for daily life, and remember that strong academic records really matter for getting in.
So the overall message coming through loud and clear from all this material is, this is actually a viable route. You can potentially get a world-class degree without that massive tuition debt you might face elsewhere.
It's a tangible pathway. Requires planning and effort, definitely, but it's